Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. And welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are having a fantastic day today. Okay, and if not, then maybe this video will bring you a little bit of peace, help you have a more fantabulous day. But today we're going to be doing a little bit of an ASMR book review, okay? I have three books, not one, not two, but three books that I'm going to review for you guys really quickly. Just simple little review, let you know my thoughts, okay? These two I got at the library, and then this one I had actually purchased one time at Walmart, and I regret it, but I'll tell you why. So I'm going to tell you my thoughts, a little bit about what the book was about, and I'm going to rate it for you and let you know what I give it on a scale from 1 to 10. And then you guys can decipher for yourselves if you would like to read the books. So, hope you guys enjoy. So we're going to start off with this one. This is Neil deGrasse Tyson, Letters from an Astrophysicist, okay? And I love how the books, the hardcovers from the library, I love how they have like this plastic on them. I kind of love it. Okay, but yeah, this book. So I really love Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil, if you were watching this, which I doubt you are, but huge fan, okay? And I've read Letters from an Astrophysicist. No, well, obviously I have. That's this book. I'm sorry. I meant to say I've read Astrophysics for People in a Hurry, which I think like came out right before this one. Like, I don't know. I think they go hand in hand or something. I don't know. It said it somewhere in this book. Oh, here it is. A luminous companion to the phenomenal bestseller. I don't see how they're companions, but this is a pretty cool book. It quite literally is a bunch of either letters or emails that people have written him, and then kind of his response. You know, Neil's a really smart guy. I love to hear his insight on anything. I think what was really cool about this book is that he was there. He literally witnessed 9/11 happen, like right outside of his dining room window or something like that. And so that was kind of interesting to me to read about, because you know, 9/11 for me is something that feels a little bit more distant. So I thought it was really interesting. I am, however, going to give it a 7 out of 10 just because it was just passive. It genuinely is a little bit almost like TikTok in a book form, because it's just like a bunch of short letters and whatnot. So it was more kind of like passive learning. I don't think I really remembered anything that I learned, but I still admire his work a lot. So it was just nice to read it, and it was nice to see his, you know, POV of 9/11. But other than that, I give it like a 7-ish out of 10. It was not bad, but wasn't my fave book ever. Next we have The Glass Castle. Okay, this, I know some people might have read this like in school because it is a classic. I personally had never read it. Okay, The Glass Castle, Castle. I personally had never read it. Okay, I was addicted to this book. I read it in like 5 days, which maybe for some is not that much time because it's not that big of a book, but you know, I had to read it while I was at work, so I was sneaking it in. Also, the letters are pretty tiny on the page, so I don't know how much of a difference that makes, but the little story is that this book was incredible. I'm gonna give this right here, hands down, 10 out of 10, okay? I loved it, and I kept having to remind myself that this is technically a memoir. It's not even like a book. Like, these characters are not fictional. This is a real person, okay? But it's basically about Jeanette Walls and her family, and their life living in poverty and getting out of poverty. And it's just a really beautiful story, and reading this genuinely, it really puts things into perspective and makes you really, you know, depending on your experience, like grateful for your upbringing, because you just hear this story and you're like, wow, like how could parents have done such a thing to their children? How could you have no like ambition? Or I don't know, to me what this book really reminded me of truly is the power of the mind. I love psychology and all of that stuff, so I've always been a big believer in the power of the mind, but I feel like this book genuinely proves it, because maybe had her parents been in a different mindset, maybe things would have been different. And it was the mind that really helped, you know, Jeanette and her siblings bring themselves out of poverty, because they had faith that they could do it, and they believed in themselves and believed in their ability to get them out of their situation. So I really, really love this book. If you've never read it, I would recommend. Something about the way it was written for me, you know, because every book resonates with everyone differently, but something about the way this book was written for me, I was captivated and I did not want to put it down. It was so good. I felt it so easy to imagine what was going on as she was describing it. And I don't know, I just thought this book was really good. It made me appreciate my life. It made me say, wow, some people are crazy. And it just, I don't know, it just was a really, really beautiful book. Like, I was emotionally impacted. I finished it and I was like, because it's just crazy. And yeah, so I would highly recommend this book. If you've never read it, I would highly, highly, highly recommend. It's a really, really, really good book, and I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I loved it so much that I really want to buy my own copy whenever I get a chance. And then last but not least, this is a short book review. Last but not least, I have this one. Okay, this is A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows by Holly Renee. Holly Renee. I personally, I'm not a big stickler for my genres. I will read pretty much anything. I like fantasy, I like mystery, I like normally to read like a nonfiction and a fiction at the same time. So yeah, this is a fantasy book, of a romantasy, which I also love romance, you know, so I was really excited about this. I had heard really good things on TikTok, and then I saw it just randomly at Walmart, and so I was like, oh, like I have to buy that. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. Not that good of a score, okay? 4 out of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4 out of 10, okay? And I'm sorry, Holly. I'm, you know, good for you that you had success with this book, and for anybody that loved this book, good for you. I just really wanted to feel immersed in a fantasy world. I wanted to read it and feel like I was in another world. I wanted to, you know, like, yeah, I wanted to dive into fantasy. I feel like most people love fantasy because we love the idea of being in a fantasy world, you know? It's a little escape, and this just did not give it for me, okay? This book is also full of smut. If you're into that stuff, then cool. If not, for sure, this will not be your cup of tea. I did not even finish this book. I'm pretty sure I only got about maybe 100 or less than 100 pages in. I don't even know. I couldn't take it, okay? I have read books that have smut in them, and you know, I'm not always like super opposed. I'm not really obsessed. Like, I read them like far and few in between. But this book was pretty much only about that. I mean, there was barely any world building, and that's mostly why I like to read fantasy, so I can feel like I'm in a little fantasy world. There was barely any world building, and it was just all about the smut, basically. And you know, I like romance because I love like the yearning and the tension and the like, oh my god, you know. There was none of that. It was like they were just randomly doing things, okay? No tension was built, no like, oh my god, will they, won't they, does he like her, does she like him? there was none of that, okay? Like I said, I didn't even finish. I literally got, I think, less than 100 pages in, and normally I like to finish what I started. Even if I don't really like a book, I will finish what I started. This was one of those I couldn't, so I'm sorry, Holly, all right? But I personally, I would not recommend this book unless you're into this kind of stuff. I mean, it is very cheesy, very like simple, easy read, romance type vibes. It's a very beautiful book, okay? Like, look at these details. Look at these details, okay? Very, very beautiful book. Look at the side. Gorgeous book. It's gonna look so gorgeous on my bookshelf, but I would not recommend. I think I give it a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10, okay? I was slightly entertained, but I was kind of disappointed. All right, so it's my book review. Hopefully this inspired you. If I could recommend to you to go right now and buy any of these books, I would say The Glass Castle. If you read The Glass Castle, let me know your thoughts. If you read any of these books, let me know what you think down below, okay, in the comments. Make sure you give this video a like and a thumbs up, and I love you. Sending peace and love. Thank you for watching. Bye.